you. It is not the best. It is not the most well edited. It's actually very coupled together. But I do hope that whoever stumble on it, they'll be able to find peace and quiet for the night, and maybe even the goal of life. And now, I have with me the actual Krishna book by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So let me read it for you. So it is ASMR with both whispering, sometimes coughing as I'm still recovering from a cold, and book noise. You'll be eating good tonight. Now, Chapter 4. Kamsa begins his persecution. After Vasudev adjusted things as they had been before he carried Krishna to Gokula, and now the doors and gate became similarly closed, the gatekeepers awoke and heard a newborn child crying. Kamsa was waiting to hear the news of the child's birth, and the gatekeepers immediately approached him and informed him that the child was born. At that time, Kamsa got up from his bed very quickly and exclaimed, "Now the cruel death of my life is born." Kamsa became perplexed now that his death was approaching, and his hair scattered. Honestly, that's relatable. When your death is imminent, you just get so confused. Devaki, on seeing her brother approaching, prayed in a very meek attitude to Kamsa, "Oh, my dear brother, please do not kill this female child." Try something. My apology, that was the mic tumbling down. Let me try this again. Okay, how does it sound? Yeah, I guess it's better now. I promise you that this child will be your wife, the wife of your son. Therefore, don't kill her. You are not to be killed by any female child. The omen was that you are to be killed by a male child. So please do not kill her. Oh, my dear brother, you have killed some children who were just born, shining like the sun. That is not your fault. You have been advised by the mother and friends to kill my children. But now I beg you to excuse this girl at least. Let her live as my daughter. I heard Kamsa was so cruel that he did not listen to the pitiful prayer of his sister Devaki. He forcibly grabbed the newborn child to rebuke his sister and attempted to dash her with a stone mercilessly. This is a graphic example of sacrifice of relationship for the sake of personal gratification. your sister and brother-in-law. I have acted just like a demon in killing you, my own nephews, your children, and thereby I have given up all consideration of our intimate relationship. I do not know what will be the result of these envious acts of mine. Probably I shall be sent to hell, where killers of Brahmanas go. I am surprised, however, that the celestial prophecy has not come true. It is not only in human society that false propaganda is found. Now it appears that even the celestial denizens speak lies, because I believed in these words of the celestial denizens. I have committed so many sins by killing the children of my sister, my dear Vasudev and Devaki. You are both very great souls. I have no instructions to give you, but still, I request that you do not be sorry for the death of your children. Every one of us is under the control of superior power, and that superior power doesn't allow us to remain together. So, about that, what Kamsa says is basically, that's what God wanted, so I did it. Well, okay, in his case, well, that's gonna be at the end of the book, but spoiler alert, the 6 children of Devaki that Kamsa killed, well, they represent the 6 alartas in the heart that we have to be rid of before the Lord appears there. It's not fun to get rid of them because we think we need them. There is lust, greed, pratyahara, what is the French? What is the word for pratyahara? Comalties, gluttony, wrath, pride, anger, and there's no illusion in madness. There's no wrath, no anger, but anyway, that's what I do remember. And those we have to get rid of by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and surrendering to Guru. And that's one of the hardest part, to be honest. I myself am not very surrendered to my Guru, but Krishna will not let me be, unsurrendered also. So, while Kamsa is right that we are controlled by our power, we still have free will. We still have the power of choice. We can make our choices. He could have chosen to surrender to the prophecy, but no, he did not. But at the same time, he did choose to wait for the 8th child, but because it is a pastime of Krishna, well, Narada Muni wanted the event to happen faster, because as you read in the first chapter, Mother Earth was currently suffering from too many warriors, too many sinful kings who were basically raping her, just exploiting her resources and having too much power, including too many nuclear weapons. Because yes, 5,000 years ago, even before that point, we had Brahmastra, we had nuclear weapons, and we're talking highly precise, can aim at a fetus in a one-woman type of nuclear weapon. Nowadays, when we think about nuclear weapon, sure they'll do lots of damage, but it's basically a big boom, a big explosion, and it won't destroy So anyway, when you see or hear about somebody who killed an entire family, and he said, "I did it because God told me to," chances are that was a ghost. We've actually had that in which somebody would see like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu spoke to me. But the devotees who heard that, look at their eyes. People who are possessed by ghosts or are affected by them, you can see it in their eyes. They have dead eyes, like a drunk person, like wild, crazed eyes. Their movement are all different also. So anyway, that's what Kamsa basically saying, "Oh, don't cry about the kids I murdered. It wasn't my fault. It was the will of the God. It was providence." Anyway, my dear Vasudeva and Devaki, you are both okay. This I read. Everyone, okay. We are bound to be separated from our friends and relatives in due course of time, but we must know for certain that even after the disappearance of the different material bodies, the soul remains intact eternally. For example, there are many pots made of earthly clay, and they are prepared and also broken. But in spite of this, the earth remains as it is perpetually. So it's just clay. Kamsa is basically making a sin an opera to the holy name. It's basically right now he's using the scriptures to wash his hands of his own sins, knowing that he will do the same thing over again. Just doing confessions and sinning again with purification. It's just like somebody who goes on a detox, only to take the drugs again. I mean, what's the whole point? The bodies of the soul under different conditions are made and destroyed, but the spirit soul remains eternally, so there is nothing to lament over. Everyone should understand that this material body is different from the spirit soul, and so long as one does not come to that understanding, he is sure to accept the process of transmigration from one body to another. My dear sister Devaki, you are so gentle and kind. Please excuse me. Don't be aggrieved by the death of your children, which I have caused. Actually, this was not done by me, because all of these are predestined activities. One has to act according to the predestined plan, even unwillingly. People misunderstand that with the end of the body the self dies, or they think that one can kill another living entity. All these misconceptions oblige one to accept the condition of material existence. In other words, as long as one has to accept the conditions of material existence. In other words, as long as one is not firmly convinced of the eternality of the soul, he is subjected to the tribulation of being killers and killed. My dear sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudev, kindly excuse the atrocities that I have committed against you. I am very poor-hearted, and you are so great-hearted, so take compassion upon me and excuse me. While Kamsa was speaking to his brother-in-law and sister, tears flowed from his eyes, and he fell down on their feet. Believing the word of Durga-Devi, whom he had tried to kill, Kamsa immediately released his brother-in-law and sister. He personally unlocked the iron shackles and very sympathetically showed his friendship for his family members. When Devaki saw her brother so repentant, she also became pacified and forgot all his atrocious activities against the children. Now that's a devotee. We're just willing to forgive unlimitedly. Well, that's Devaki is a pure devotee. I mean, I'm not a pure devotee myself, but Devaki, she's a mother of God. Obviously, she has ultimate forgiveness. Vasudev also, forgetting all past incident, spoke smilingly with his brother-in-law. Vasudeva told Kamsa, "My dear fortunate brother-in-law, what you are saying about the material body and the soul is correct. Every living entity is born ignorant, misunderstanding this material body to be itself. This conception of life is due to ignorance, and on the basis of this ignorance, we create enmity or friendship, lamentation, tribulation, fearfulness, envy, greed, illusion, and madness." Okay, those are well, technically the seven sins or the seven anarthas are different feature of our material concept of life. A person influenced like this engage in enmity only due to the material body. Being influenced like this, okay, being engaged in such activities, we forget our eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva took this opportunity of Kamsa's benevolence and informed him that his atheistic activities were also due to the misconception of life, namely taking this material body to be the self, which is true. Can you imagine if people would identify as the spirit soul servant of God and not as Ukrainian and Russian, Israeli, and Palestinian, or people in Gaza, Indian and Muslims, Christians and everybody else, black, white, trans, normal. We'd have no more wars. Because if somebody tried to start shit, well, like, dude, we're not this body. Why? But no. Instead, we'll cultivate patriotism. And, well, more happen. Which is why I'm posting those ASMR, so that hopefully somebody may stumble upon this and learn the truth, and may this person apply this truth in all of their sphere of life, so that, there'll be one less person who continue this cycle of violence and war. When Vasudev talked with Kamsa in such an illuminating way, Kamsa became very much pleased, and his guilt for killing his nephew subsided. With the permission of his sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudev, he returned to his home with a relieved mind. But the next day, Kamsa called all his counselors together and narrated to them all the incident that had happened the night before. All the counselors of Kamsa were demons and eternal enemies of the demigods, so they became depressed upon hearing their master speak of the night's event. And although they were not very much experienced or learned, they began to give instruction to Kamsa as followed. "Dear sir, let us now make arrangement to kill all children who were born within the last 10 days in all towns, countries, villages, and pasturing ground. Let us execute this plan indiscriminately. We think that the demigods cannot do anything against us if we perform these atrocities. They are always afraid of fighting with us, and even if they wish to check our activities, they will not dare to do so. Because of your immeasurable strength, they fear your bow. Indeed, we have practical experience that whenever you stood to fight with them and began to shower your arrows on them, they immediately fled in all directions just to save their lives. Many of the demigods were unable to fight with you, and they immediately surrendered themselves unto you by loosening their turbans and enough of hair on their heads. With folded hands they begged you to spare them and said, 'My lord, we are all afraid of your strength. Please release us from this dangerous fight.' We have also seen many times that you would never kill such surrendered fighters. is a straw in comparison to your strength. Therefore, we have nothing to fear from all these demigods, but we must not neglect them, for the demigods are our determined enemy. We must be careful to protect ourselves, to root them out from their very existence. We should just engage yourself in your service and be always ready for your command. So remember in the first chapter, I spoke about how Kamsa defeated Indra and Indra ran away from the fight. Excuse me. So as I was saying, Kamsa was not to be trifled with. He defeated Lord Indra, which is why all the demigods came to Lord Vishnu because there was nothing they could do. Also, just so you know, the demons we have on the earth right now, they're like not big enough to warrant an appearance of the Lord or the demigods yet. That's something to think about. The demons continued to say, if there is some disease in the body which is neglected and worsens or becomes incurable. Similarly, when one is not careful about restraining the senses or let them loose, it is then very difficult to control them. Therefore, we must now be very careful of the demigod before they get too strong to be subdued. The foundation of the strength of the demigod is Lord Vishnu, because the ultimate goal of all religious principle is to satisfy him. The Vedic injunctions, the brahmana, the cows, austerities, sacrifice, performance of charity, and distribution of wealth are all for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So let us immediately begin to kill all the brahmanas who are in charge of the Vedic knowledge, along with the great sages who are in charge of sacrificial ritualistic performance. Let us kill all the cows, which are the source of butter, which is so necessary for performing sacrifices. Please give us your permission to kill all these creatures. Actually, the limbs of the transcendental body of Lord Vishnu are the brahmanas, the cows, Vedic knowledge, austerities, truthfulness, self and mind control, faithfulness, charity, tolerance, and performance of sacrifices. So you don't think about zero tolerance, that's demoniac. Lord Vishnu is situated in everyone's heart and is the leader of all demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Therefore, we think that to persecute the great sages and brahmanas is to kill Lord Vishnu. Spoilers. Now, you're just gonna piss Vishnu off, my guy. That's been advised by his demonic ministers. Kamsa, who was from the very beginning the greatest rascal, decided to persecute the brahmanas and Vaishnavas, being entrapped by the shackles of all-devouring eternal time. He ordered the demons to harass all kinds of saintly persons, and then he entered his house. The adherents of Kamsa were all influenced by the mode of passions, as well as illusion by the mode of ignorance, and their only business was to create enmity with saintly persons. Such activities can only reduce one's life, one's duration of life. The demons accelerated the process and invited their death as soon as possible. The result of persecuting saintly persons is not only untimely death, royalty. Oh, one of his avatars is a Papa Lion. A Papa Lion who's in the mood of a Mama Lion. You don't want to piss him off. The last guy who pissed him off got gutted with the Lord Vishnu, but Lord Vishnu would have nailed him. Got turned into a pendant with his intestine as the chain. Something to think about when you see us on the street. A civilization that commits to sinful activities generally loses. Al-Fayed, the Supreme Lord, and such a godless civilization become the source of all calamities in human societies. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the fourth chapter of Krishna. Kamsa begins his persecution. So thank you for staying with us for this evening. I wish you all a good night. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Who knows, if it gets popular enough, I may start a Patreon. Maybe I can read some more special text, maybe even in French. Anyway, if you like it, leave a comment, leave a like, or not. It's up to you. Hari Bol, Hari Krishna.